As Germany gets ready to vote in its new chancellor in 10 days' time, let's cross over to Nick Spicer in Berlin. Nick, firstly, this farewell between Macron and Merkel, overall, how do you think these two leaders have worked together?
Well, it didn't start out particularly as Emmanuel Macron would have liked. Angela Merkel has been in office, as you were saying, for 16 years. He was elected. There was a lot of speculation in Berlin that with this young, new Europhile president, the Franco-German motor, which really drives European integration and leads the European Union in a lot of policy areas, would go into overdrive. That didn't quite happen. Macron made a big speech at the Sorbonne calling for the Franco-German couple to take the lead, more European integration, a budget for the Eurozone. And Merkel had to go back and to the polls and create a new government, 4.5 months to create a new coalition government. Didn't really answer. There was some disappointment on the French side, some disagreements when Angela Merkel pushed for a trade deal with China, pushed for a trade deal with the United States, and France wasn't entirely in agreement with that. Generally, she's seen as a big crisis manager in Europe and not somebody with a big vision, like Helmut Kohl, for instance, working with François Mitterrand to reunify Germany and launch the euro. However, what really changed things and really brought them together was, paradoxically, the pandemic. They finally decided that there needed to be not quite a budget for the European Union, Eurozone, but a giant $500 billion fund, a recovery fund paid for with euro bonds, which would mean that Germany would be somewhat on the hook for other countries' spending, which was something that has been anathema to Germans throughout the sovereign debt crisis. And for years, that came to be. So the couple finally came together after a very long period of wooing and disagreements, if you will. And this is their final working dinner before they have a final sort of friendly goodbye dinner after the election.
Looking ahead, Nick, at who might replace Merkel after the September 26th vote, how do you think that might change relations both with France and indeed Germany's relationships with the European Union?
Well, whoever it is, it's not going to be a heavyweight like Merkel. It takes a long time to build that kind of gravitas and respect from your peers, and it's far from clear that Armin Laschet, who is the leader of her Christian Democratic Union now and would be the next Christian Democratic chancellor, has that gravitas. It's not the image he's seen as a gaffe-prone, if jovial regional premier with no international profile. Even if he's an ardent European, he governs a region which is neighboring to France, loves France. It could be Olaf Scholz, who's the head of the Social Democratic Party, who is the finance minister. They both visited Macron last week, just underlining the importance of the Franco-German couple. They will have to work on the pandemic. They'll probably talk about the European defense policy, which has always been really hard to build, given the debacle in Afghanistan, maybe more integration there. But I think, it will be a friendly relationship with whoever it is. There will be areas of disagreement or agreement depending on who the leader is. And let's remember, it could well be another coalition government with both of those men having a say in what goes on, one being in the leading position. So the Franco-German motor, I think the couple will continue as before, but without two heavyweights. If you just cast our mind back to the period when Trump was in office, people were looking to France and Germany as the sort of leaders of the free world. It looks like it's just going to be France who has the lead role in Europe for the next little while as the new German leader finds his or possibly her footing.
Nick Spicer in Berlin, thanks very much indeed for that.